First up on Good Relations tonight, John Caldwell. He's an Australian anti-bullying advocate. He's also Retail World Resourcing CEO and best-selling author of his book, Full Throttle, which we will talk about, and he's a nominee for Australian of the Year for 2014 in Victoria. I guess, John, best to ask how you eventually found the strength to cope with the bullying that you experienced. What was your secret to success?
It's quite a quirky one, actually. It was television, and I got really hooked into American lifestyle shows and movies, and I thought, wow, there is a better life than this, and I want that. And then it was just pure hard work. I started in a company at the very bottom and worked 7 days a week, any shift I could get, any time. Went through their graduate program, and just really
Was this in the pizza shop?
It sure was, yeah.
Okay, you worked your way up to owning a couple of franchises, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. So, it was over a period of nearly 10 years and just, really starting at the bottom. I think we see too much these days, so people, get a couple of bad shifts or a couple of late nights and they think, I'll go to the next place. So that determination and staying there for so many years and working my way through really made a difference, and amazing training in the fast food industry as well. So
now, do you still, these days, you're running your own company, do you still... do you still personally experience any bullying in the workplace?
I don't personally experience it, no, but one of the things on that is that it never leaves. So it's amazing how someone can just say the slightest thing and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up and you immediately feel like you're in that situation, back where you were 20 years ago. And it's something that you live with forever.
Okay, and I guess the next question is, when did you cease to be bullied?
That's a really good question, actually. I guess in some forms it was there in the background throughout my career, probably until I opened my own company.
Yes.
And I guess that there are bullies everywhere, and so while it wasn't necessarily a company-wide issue, there was one or two throughout my career that were there in the background. So probably just when I opened my own company was when it really stopped, I guess.
And do you deal with this in your book?
Yes, all in the book. Very much a tell-all story.
Okay. Did you find it therapeutic? As such, I often speak to people who have suffered some, well, in your instance, bullying, but there's been other issues that they've suffered. Once they put it down on paper, they feel a lot better about it all.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because when people ask me why I wrote the book, I say it was therapeutic to write it. It wasn't even written to be published. It was written for me, and it was therapeutic. And it's amazing how many hole you dig into that you'd sort of put a lid over and hadn't thought about for years, and things become very clear. So it gave a lot of clarity, and it actually helped me to forgive a lot of people and to put a lot behind me. So, and now sharing it with other people is just amazing as well.
Do you find it difficult to, as you suggest in the discussion you're having with me and in the book, do you find it difficult to forgive those people who made life so difficult for you in the early stages?
I don't find it difficult, and I feel very sorry for a lot of those people. And a lot of those people haven't achieved much with their lives because they spent their time focusing on other people's shortcomings. So, no, I honestly feel more sorry for some of the people that affected me.
Do you see much bullying in the workplace with other people from where you sit running your own recruitment company?
We do see it. We do see it quite a bit, and probably more particularly through Angel's Goal and the work that we do there. People report a lot of cases. And sadly, you mentioned before what a poor reflection it is on Australia in this day and age, but Australia is now ranked #1 in the world for workplace bullying. So the problem in Australia is getting worse, not better.
Why do you think that is?
Look, in terms of Australia specifically, I really don't know. I'd like to hope that maybe we're being more proactive in terms of reporting the cases or focusing on investigating them than other countries. But I don't have any data statistically to say why that is. But we're also, however, ranked #1 in the world for cyberbullying. So, Australia really is topping the charts there.
Well, that's something I wanted to raise with you. That's another big issue, particularly with young people at school. Did you experience that?
I was fortunate. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit too old now, but I was very fortunate that I didn't have a computer, and I didn't have a smartphone. I mentioned to you before that there certainly was a point where I thought, I don't know if I can do this, and where I contemplated suicide. I think, thankfully, I didn't have cyberbullying, and if I did, that would have just pushed me over the edge. I often say that, my saving grace was that I'd go home and I'd close my bedroom door and I'd hide from it all. Nowadays, it follows you into the bedroom. These children can't play on their computer at night in their bedroom without people having a go at them as well. So I think that is it's certainly making the issue worse, not better.
Okay, well, how do we as parents control that cyberbullying? Because a lot of that might happen in the schoolyard or to and from school. What do we do?
Again, on the Angels Gold website, actually, we've partnered with an app called Protect a Child, and there are a number of different apps that you can get to restrict what they're looking at, but also to report it to the parents if there is bullying happening. The difference with Protect a Child is it's not a device-based, it's actually based on the account. So, for example, it links to the Facebook account, so it doesn't matter what device the child logs onto, you will still be alerted if there's anything happening there. So it's a really fantastic tool for parents to have a look at.
One of our listeners, Gary from Kawangba, has sent me an SMS. He wants to know where you got those facts with regard to Australia being or having the highest rate of workplace bullying.
That is a great question. I was in an article, and I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately, but I can come back to you with that. But it was in an article that was only out 2 weeks ago.
Okay, all right. So, with your organisation, are you doing anything to try and stem this issue, particularly from where you sit with regard to workplace bullying? Because you do run a recruitment organisation, I guess. With the workplace, you're in a position there to be able to maybe do something about it.
Well, we can only impact our own environment, and we don't have any impact on those of our clients. So, but more through Angels Gold, we're doing a lot of work on that, and we're raising a lot of awareness, and again, providing the links to the laws that can protect you. Only Victoria in Australia has a workplace bullying law called Brodie's Law, and there's a bit of lobbying going on at the moment trying to get that to become a national law. The biggest law I think people need to have a look at is the stalking laws, and they do protect people being bullied. So that's all on our Angels Gold website. We urge people to have a look at that.
Do you think people who are bullied have much success? And the reason I'm asking you, because you've been at the coal face of this, do you think there's much success in defusing the bullying by turning it around when you are bullied, whether you're called a name or it can be anything, I guess, where you just defuse and say, yeah, you're right, and you send yourself up a bit. Did you ever do that as a kid to see if that worked for you? Because I've read a fair bit with regard to bullying in the schoolyard, and apparently that's not a bad tool. It does work sometimes. I
think it would work for some people. I definitely did give it a go at times. It certainly never. It may diffuse it for that particular instance, but it never stopped them from coming back the next day. And the other thing people always ask, and there's been a couple of famous YouTube situations where the person getting bullied turned around and thumped the other person. We strongly urge people not to consider that, because I think it would escalate the problem.
Yeah, I don't know that works. No, in some instances I know you hear of success there, but yeah, I wouldn't advocate that. Did you seek professional advice throughout your life in order for you to cope?
Only in later life, and probably leading up to writing the book, absolutely. And I talk very openly in the book and say that I think therapy is a wonderful thing, and it really helps you understand why you act the way you act. So it was probably more about getting past some lifelong hurdles that I had that I didn't know why I had, and they do stem back to obviously those early days. But I'm a big advocate for therapists.
What you suffer throughout life, has it had any lasting effect on you? For example, do you suffer any anxiety or depression as a result of what you went through?
Still anxiety, absolutely. And as I said before, it's just someone can say something or you'll be in a certain social situation. I think when you've been bullied as extensively as I had, you never confidently feel that you are good enough. So the immediate thought is, I am not good enough, and you need to force yourself past that. So, there's the confidence that I have learnt over the years has been forced on me. I've had to make myself do things, and now it becomes a little more natural. But yes, absolutely, it really doesn't ever go away.
So even with all your success at work, you still have those reservations from time to time. Is that what you're saying?
Definitely in a social situation, and I talk prominently in the book about it. You know, there was one incident where I was hanging out with some friends in a club, and one of them knew a football team, a very prominent football team, and we had a great night, and I was cracking some jokes, and a couple of them were patting me on the back saying, "You're a great guy," and I remember thinking, no, they can't be talking about me. They can't possibly like me. And that just comes from those years and years of being told that you just are not good enough.
Even now with your success, and you've got this nomination for Australian of the Year in 2014 in Victoria, and you're involved with Angels Gold, you still have those pangs from time to time.
Definitely. It's the immediate natural reaction that I will come up with is not good enough. Sometimes it lasts for a millisecond, and other times it can, last throughout the entire situation that I'm in. But most of the time I'll get over it pretty quickly. But the first reaction is always, they can't be talking about me, or I am not good enough. And I now don't think that will ever go away. I think that will always be there a little bit.
Okay, now, do you have a website?
I do, yes. My own website is johnmcaldwell.com.
And, of course, your book is Full Throttle, and how you were bullied and how you handled that bullying, and, well, I guess your life and how you dealt with it all and how you felt throughout your life as a result of being bullied is all outlined, warts and all, in the book.
Yes, it's all in there, and hopefully it gives people a chance to have a read and think that if their case is extreme, or not even as extreme as mine, that it does get better, and that people are not alone. There's lots of us out there, and we're all there to support each other. And
yes, and there's no stigma in going along to therapy to sort yourself out.
Absolutely not, and I talk very publicly about that to anyone, and even anyone who's having a little bit of issues at work, or there's a whole myriad of reasons why people should go to therapists, and I'd love to see that stigma removed for sure.
So the book is Full Throttle, available at a good bookstore near you, and I guess on your website.
On the website, it's also available at Amazon.com as well.
John, well, listen, good luck with the 2014 Australian of the Year entry or nomination for Victoria. Best of luck with that. Good luck with your business, Retail World Resourcing. You're the CEO there, and, of course, an Australian anti-bullying advocate. Well done.
Thanks very much, John.
My pleasure. Nice talking with you. And, of course, angelsgold.org.au, as you heard John Caldwell say, there are plenty of links and plenty of information on bullying. If you have issues, Lifeline 131144, Lifeline 131144, and there also is a kids helpline 1800 55 1800.